Hi, my name is Holly Reed of the Master Playbook, and today we are going to talk about raising money-savvy kids. To raise money-savvy kids, we want to change the narrative, right? So we are known for being consumers, but we don't do a great job at raising kids that know how to earn their own money, that know how to grow their own money, and really how to build long-term wealth. So we want to shift that narrative, change that narrative, and make sure that our kids are fully equipped to not only have a solid financial foundation, but know how to make that money grow long-term. What people need to know about raising money-savvy kids is that you don't have to be an expert in money in order to start those conversations, right? I know when I talk to parents or when I talk to a lot of people, they may be intimidated by finances. They may be even ashamed, still hold shame from their own money mistakes and missteps. And what I say is you don't have to be a PhD. All you have to do is be open and transparent about sharing what are the mistakes that you made, but more importantly, what is the lesson that you learned from that money mistake, right? What are the consequences when you don't pay your bills on time? What are the consequences when you aren't managing your money in the ways that you need to be managing it? So teaching our kids to honor their obligations, teaching our kids to keep track of all the money that's not just coming in, but how they're spending it and using it for their benefit or for the things that they really care about and need in life. The three biggest myths that I see parents make is one, that they have to be perfect with it, right? That they have to have all their things all together. And that's not the case. And what I say is, it's hard to master something that you've never learned yourself. And so if you are finding yourself in that situation where you don't feel comfortable talking to your kids about investing because maybe you've never invested before, it's okay to learn it alongside with them. What better way than for everybody to come up than to take those baby steps right there with your child, with your teenager, even with your young adults who still may be living in the household or coming back to you for guidance as they're starting to make more financial decisions independently. Another myth is that you may think that you've already had a money conversation with your child, right? You have the conversation once, but the mistake in that is that you talk to your child once and then we expect mastery. It's like any other thing that we are teaching our kids to do. You've got to be willing to repeat yourself over and over again because that's how our kids learn. So don't think that one long conversation you had with them about money is the only thing that they need. They're going to need to hear these things over and over and over again because as they grow, as they mature, then the same things you are telling them about why it's important to save money, why it's important to have a great work ethic, those things are going to still apply, but now they can understand it better because they've had some practice, some experience, some exposure that makes them see it differently, or that finally a light bulb goes off. They have their aha moment, and so then it starts to stick. The third myth is that parents believe the school system is going to teach our kids everything they need to know. And listen, you and I both know that's not how this works. There are a lot of things that I learned in school that I likely don't use today. The financial literacy, money management, it is a life skill. And it's something that our school systems, unfortunately, don't teach consistently, right? How it applies to your day in and out, that needs to start at home, and that needs to start with the family. The three biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to trying to raise money-savvy kids is just throwing books at our kids, right? Read this, or go watch this video. And it's going to take more than that, right? So a part of the learning process is actually getting in the weeds, experiencing it. So we need to make sure that our kids are actually getting that exposure, getting an opportunity to make independent decisions. And that's really what brings up mistake number 2, is a lot of us are helicopter moms out here, or helicopter dads. Y'all exist too. Where have your biggest life lessons come from? They've come from the mistakes that you've made. So we've got to give our kids that bandwidth. We've got to give them that leadway to not only make independent decisions, but to make the mistake. Let them make the mistake, because they're going to learn from the mistake that they've made, right? Another mistake that I see a lot of parents make, and this is a big one, is they fail to set the expectation. Our children look to us for so much. They look to us for so much, and making money decisions, making money choices is going to be one of those things. We've got to set the expectation, and we've got to set the expectation high. One of the reasons that I was able to purchase a home at the age of 23 was because that was an expectation that my dad set for me and my sisters. Not once I was 23, but he had been talking to us about buying our own home, about owning the place, the roof over our head for years, for decades. And so as we all matured, as we all started earning the kind of money that allowed us to save up for down payments, and I could actually see my older sisters executing it, then it becomes a reality. It becomes something that you can absolutely achieve. A lot of times, even if you haven't achieved it yourself, you have to set the bar higher so that even as they strive for that one thing, whether it's home ownership, whether it's investing in the stock market, whether it's owning their own business, whatever the case may be, if they're striving for it, they may even miss it, but eventually they'll at least be working towards it, and good things will come from that. Things you should consider when you are raising money-savvy kids. Think about the things that your kids are interested in. What are the things that they enjoy? It's going to make those money conversations a little easier because it's tied to something that they love to do or something that they want to learn more about. If your child is interested in history, let's talk about the history of money. Let's go back, right? Let's talk about the history of businesses. So, if your child wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to be an artist, wants to be a rapper, okay, let's start focusing on rappers who are doing the thing, right? Who may have made some mistakes, but have overcome those mistakes. We see this time and time again. Jay-Z is always gonna be one of my favorites. A come-up story where somewhere along the line, somebody started talking to Jay-Z about what he needs to do. We even see it with Rihanna, one of the first Black women billionaires coming from the hip-hop generation, right? Where she basically used her skills and talents, made all this money selling her music. But what did she do with that money? She took that money and then created a brand, right? Created her lingerie line, created her makeup line. And so really there are 3 keys, or really 3 things in common that most self-made millionaires have. They have either invested in, they're either making their money from investments like real estate, they're making their money from the stock market, or they're making their money by investing or owning in businesses. That's it. 3 simple ways. If you help your kids follow some of their favorite artists, some of their favorite celebrities or favorite athletes, just look at how they're making their money. Somebody helps them make a decision to do one of those other 3 things that really exponentially helps them grow their wealth. If you're interested in raising money-savvy kids, I'm going to insist that you check out themasterplaybook.com. We host money camps for kids and teens and really help them get that financial jump start that they need to build healthy money habits so that they can establish a solid financial foundation early and often.
The Convo, your home for conversations on Black entrepreneurship and wealth, available on your favorite platforms.